instead of a regional. Hoping to play for a regional a little bit later. It is Jeff Brink, the head coach of the Springfield boys basketball team, with the world on his shoulders in the background.
Well, you got to go Lady Quakers too, because you got to remember I was at Salem. So
yeah, go Lady Quakers from
Coach Hamilton was actually one of the students when I was a teacher down there. So I hope they can pull it off. That'd be a great accomplishment.
Yeah, we're pulling for him too, Coach. And looking at this game, we had Coach Palermo on yesterday, and this is going to be a fun one. Mooney pulling off a big win against Liberty, and got it right now to face you guys. And this is going to be an interesting matchup. What do you see as some keys in this one, and what have you seen from your boys in this tournament run?
Well, I think when you look at that, Mooney, Coach Palermo does a great job. I mean, it's a great team. I think their schedule's been very difficult, challenging schedule. They've got some big-time wins, been very successful. But I think the key is their pressure. They do a great job with their pressure defense, their traps, pressure. They create and generate a lot of turnovers. And on the offensive end, they're very efficient. I mean, Mick Hergenrather is one of the best in the Mahoning Valley. He controls tempo. He's very good off the dribble and creating opportunities for his scorers. They shoot the ball very well. So it's a dangerous team. I mean, it's obviously a challenge. I think anybody would be a fool not to realize when you get this deep in the tournament, you're going to play a great team. You're going to play a well-coached team that's a solid team that can win and compete and, go on in the tournament. So with that being a challenge, we're looking forward to it. It's another great challenge and should be a great game. I actually think it's going to be a real solid one.
And I'm sure you've seen the film of their Liberty game, and boy, did they shoot really well in that game. They kind of shot the lights out. What's kind of the game plan to get them off that spot and try to keep their shooters as contained as possible?
Well, I think you got to make sure that you account for all of them. They have a variety of players. It's not just Hergenrother that's a great player, but they can all shoot. I mean, you're talking about 4 or 5 players and some off the bench that are all guys that can step in and make an open shot. So I think you have to be very accountable to your responsibilities defensively and understand where you need to be, where you're supposed to be within reason to be able to contest shots. You can't let catch and shoot threes kill you. You got to make them put it on the deck, have to create, and not simply just stand there and get good open looks and that are clean. So for us, we've been a pretty good defensive team through the years. But I think this is definitely one of those challenges that you're going to have to rise to the occasion to be successful.
Looking at your team too, what have you seen primarily from this Tigers team in this tournament that has made them so tough? And down the stretch, what do you think the biggest things that they've kind of turned the corner on, or that you've seen improvements on from the start of the tournament till now?
I just think you see a battle-tested team. I mean, you're talking about kids that, I mean, most our starters, they've gone to the regionals twice in the last 3 years. The football team's gone to state 4 times. So you're just looking at kids that they're battle-tested. It's not the aura in the arena is not going to overwhelm them with we're in a big game. So that type of thing is you realize what's at stake. A lot of our kids realize that they didn't achieve the goals that they had set as younger players, that they came close and knocked on the door. And I think it's something where they look at it and realize as a senior, this is the last opportunity I'm going to have. This is it. There's a finality to it when you get to the tournament. And with that, you have to appreciate and embrace it because it is an opportunity. It's a challenge, but it's opportunity.
Coach, you brought up your defense, and they played a great game against Garfield to get to here. You held the G-men to under 30 points. Talk about the defensive performance in the district semifinals and what went so right for your defensive game plan in that game.
I think from the game plan standpoint, our execution was tremendous. We got what we wanted to do. Adam Wary did just an unbelievable job in a lockdown situation on Spade, who's a great scorer for Garfield. And Bo does what Bo always does, which is basically lock down who he plays. And I think it's something where defensively it comes down to not only great on-the-ball defenders, but you have to play great team defense. And I thought the Garfield game was one of the better defensive team efforts that we had, being in the right gaps, rotations, responsibilities. When you have coverages that players know where they're supposed to be and they're in the right spot, makes it more difficult for the offense to execute their kind of comfort zone, the things that they want to do, and you take them out of that and try to force them into some more difficult decisions.
Talking about just stepping into this role this year, Coach, I mean, these are guys too that Poe Brungard hasn't had a basketball preseason in
right.
years. So when you have all this going into your first year too, just talk to me about how well the boys have responded to not necessarily a huge shift in the culture, I guess you would say, but the change in the coaching too, and how they've responded. And I mean, it's obviously paid off. It's gotten them back to a district championship.
I think when you have the senior class, that's the key. And the seniors buy in, everything goes down from that. And I was fortunate to where a lot of the seniors, either their parents or through other players that played for me, had some correlation and knew me. And I think it was easy for them to come in and see right off the bat the first time I met them, hey, we're not in this just to come in and go through the motions and be here. I'm a Springfield Tiger. I was born and raised, in New Middletown. I grew up there. I spent years there as an assistant coach. I spent years there as a head coach. As an alum, I always have followed them even from a distance. For me, it's a passion that goes beyond just your competitive desire to win a game. For me, it's personal. It's about family, friends, relatives. Everyone is involved in the community. So I think that they know what it means to me personally. And I think they know that I didn't come in here just to pick up a job. It was something that for me, it's home. And it's about doing something for my community and my friends and my family and being a part of something that's much, much bigger than just our basketball team.
Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to give a call to action to this Springfield community. They showed up so well last night for the girls' regional game. What would it mean to you to see the same kind of show out, the same kind of support and energy from the crowd tomorrow in Boardman in Salem?
Well, we expect that. I mean, last year, unfortunately for the kids with COVID, they didn't get to experience the big crowds. They go to regional, but you didn't have the crowd. Back when they were freshmen and they played at Struthers when they were D4, it was a great crowd. I was at the game watching as a fan, and it was tremendous because Springfield follows their athletics. We'll expect 3,000 plus tomorrow afternoon, at Salem. I just think that you're going to have a massive crowd. I think it's going to force Salem to open up the upper deck in terms of the bleachers because they're not going to be able to handle the crowd. That's just what we expect from Springfield. That's the type of following we have. It's going to be a chaotic atmosphere and environment, which is what makes high school basketball and high school sports special when you have those kind of atmospheres.
That's certainly going to be exciting too, and we know that the Springfield community definitely shows out for supporting the Tigers. Real quickly, Coach, before we let you go, just talk to me, I guess, real quickly about the season, about these boys that they've had, the seniors going into this district championship, and just you've been talking so much about how it's been senior-led and everything. Just give me that one final shout-out to your senior leaders and how important they've been to this season this year.
Yeah, I think, going back to the crowd thing, we'll have more people at the game on Saturday than live in New Middletown. People will come back to go to the game. That's the way the town is. People come from out of town to do it. For the seniors, it's something that, I'll be honest, I've done this for 35 plus years. It's one of the best groups I've ever had in terms of kids. They're just great, great kids. And I think the way that they approach it, they're hungry, they're invested in it, they've embraced it. And we talked about embracing the grind all year. And with that being said, it gives us an opportunity. We could come out and lose. Mooney's a great ball club. Coach Palermo does a great job. But the bottom line is we're going to go out fighting. We're going to go out with our kids scrapping and fighting and going after it. That's just the kind of attitude that we have and that prevails throughout our district.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and giving us a little preview of this game tomorrow against Mooney. We appreciate the time, and hopefully next week we can talk to you about some regional games and district championship.
For sure. I hope so. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a great day.
You as well.